your friend and you get the smallest inkling, the smallest.
She goes on to say, trust that feeling that someone is not your friend. And you know why this happens? Because sometimes people stay your friend because they know that you're a good friend, but that doesn't mean that they like you. Many years ago, I had this friend, and we would get into harmless arguments all the time. But I noticed that anytime someone was going against me or saying something about me that was negative, he had a justification as to why they were correct. Now, fast forward, this friend ends up hooking up with this woman that I was also friends with. But then he goes and he kisses and tells. He goes and he tells everybody. Now, the woman that he hooked up with was also a friend of mine, and she ends up giving me the password to one of her accounts. I click on her messages, and I end up seeing my name being mentioned by this friend. So I click on the messages, and it turns out that she actually confronted him about telling everyone that they hooked up. And when she confronts him, he decides to blame me. He goes, "Who told you this?" And she says, "It doesn't matter." And then he goes, "Well, I bet it was Blake. It was definitely Blake." And it wasn't. But then he goes on to say how much he doesn't like me as a person. But then he says, "But Blake is a good friend." And I never forgot it because it taught me that people will keep you around even when they don't like you, because they know that you're a good person and a good friend, and they can reap the benefits of doing.
All right, all right. So how y'all feel about finding snakes as friends?
I don't get into all that because I don't try to know too many people in the first place, so I can't relate. I don't have a lot of friends, dog. So
I got a
don't even play
million
that.
friends.
I don't play that.
I got a million friends. Oh, I can tell you. I mean, first of all, he sound kind of fruity, but and then I mean, he might have fruity friends, and that's I don't know that type of level and what they go through, but I can tell you, I probably experienced it on both sides of it. I always talk about myself. I think I've criticized some of my friends, but this is something I would say to them, and I would say talking to someone else. No disrespect. I always want the best for everybody. But I also had people that would different motives. A woman I was talking to, we was on the rocks. Then I had a guy, he'll slide into her saying, "Yeah, Jarek ain't right." I just, I don't know. You have to be careful who you actually call a true friend.
For real.
I really like to look at it like saying they're associates. Like,
Right.
and the sad part about it is, like me and you, Reek, you'll never know if I'm a good friend unless that situation occurs. Get what I'm saying?
Right.
If you down and out, or if you had to confide in me and it didn't get back, like I didn't tell everybody in the world, or sometimes you just never, you never really get to find the true definition of a friend because y'all are never in everything in the way. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think
Right.
me and Alice been knowing each other for what, decade, 2 decades, 3 decades,
Yeah,
and and I think he's a good dude. But me and him never had to. We never lived together where we had to chop it up and see how we make rent. I never put him in a situation where he was laying with he was near my girl, and I went away. And did he say anything? So
Right.
from what I know of Alice, I'll tell you he's a great dude. But then again, if you put a little bit of booty in his face, how will he act? I don't know. I ain't never been in that situation. And you say what? Because let me tell you, these situations matter, right? Because Reek, I can be the coolest nigga, the coolest dude you know, but then it's this fine girl, and I want her, but she wants you. How do I act?
Right.
Or you drop $100 in front of me, right? I'm doing bad. I see that $100. Do I give it to you or do I don't? You don't know because we've never been in that situation. Now, if that situation happened, then after that you're gonna say, "Oh, that Jared, man got my back. Man got my back. This girl tried to sleep with him even though he wanted her. He didn't sleep well. I dropped my money in front of him. Don't you know? He never had like. Let me tell y'all this situation about a guy friend of mine. I played poker at my house, right? And one time I was counting the money while I was using the bathroom pen, and $100 bill. I flushed the toilet, and the $100 bill went down with it. It just fell. It was a perfect time. Boom, flushed it away. I happened to tell my homeboy about the situation, and that was that. A week later, he came over, and we were sitting in the kitchen. We was chatting it up. He went to use the bathroom. A week later, he went to use the bathroom. There's no cameras in the bathroom, nothing. And he came out and he said, "Hey, Jared, remember you had said you lost that $100 bill?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, here you go." Now, he could have easily took that 100, dried out, put it in his pocket. Nobody never had to know. I thought the money was gone. It never traces back to him. But he gave me that $100, right? That's things where you can call somebody a friend, because, like I said, I don't know that he never has to give me that money,
Right.
and so that's what I'm saying. Situations like that will, I guess, what you call define, will give you the definition of who's a friend and who's not.
Yeah, I agree. The reason I am the way I am now is because I've been a witness of certain situations that made me realize people weren't my friend. Like, I've been too giving before, you know what I'm saying? I've been too open before. So now the person, the version they get, people get now is the version that I should have been before, you know. And that is to kind of not to purposely test people to see if they are trustworthy and are friend that can be a friend, but more so you have to have wisdom when you kind of, you know, throw that word around. And the type of stuff that you just mentioned, that would determine for me whether or not, you know what I'm saying, somebody got my back. You feel me?
Uh, it's okay to be watchful, listen out, and stuff like that, but you still have to keep your heart open, right? Because there's good people out here. There's a lot of bad people, women too. Women, you know, you can't say all women are no good and unfaithful, because two of them then cheated on you. You know, so there's still good people, and I say that with friends. Like, there's good people out here, so you just don't want to cut everybody off and go close net to the world because of what a couple of bad dudes did.
For
You just
sure.
can't live like that. You get what I'm saying? You just got to keep moving. So, Rena, what you got to say?
I got too many stories about that. But something similar to what Reek said, like the younger me, I was definitely more open, more generous, more what they call it, naive, giving a lot of people the benefit of the doubt, even though they showed me over and over that they're not a friend. Whether they talking behind your back or whether they literally stealing from you, whether they just using you, being a leech. So I had to learn over and over till I really told myself, like, you need to tighten up. Like, believe people when they show you who you are, who they are. So I don't have friends now. If I call somebody a friend, it's like I'll call them a friend to speak it out in the universe just to see if they're gonna mess it up. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, so I've been around. I got a lot of friends.
Right. And you always gotta put this, because yeah.
quote unquote. So
Mhm.
like J Rock said, I've been, you know, I've known him for over 20 years. You know, we never done anything to each other that will give me the inclination that he's not a good fella, because we haven't been through no things like that. Now, we've been around each other, you know, a lot during the day, or back in the days when we were a lot younger. So we had a chance to get to know each other and things of that nature. But being around people like that, that's, you know, that's only around you because you are a good person. See, I actually experienced that because I am a good person, and I've always been that. You know, so you know, you gotta end up you know, over time, I had to learn that you got to start, you know, not just testing people, but making sure that you don't let people in too tight, you know, to you, because you know, they'll end up, you know, stabbing you in the back, or you know, going behind your back with a woman, or talking to your neighbors and talking about you. in a negative way, but they only hanging around you because you are a good person to them. You're fun to hang out with. You can go out and hang. You can go to events with them. You can go out to eat with them. You can do a lot of different things with that friend because they're a good person, but they don't like you as a person, like who you really are. They just don't have no good friends, and you're the only good friend.
They really be jealous because of the connections that you have. They be jealous of how people interact with you without you even having to say anything. They
Right.
be jealous of just your aura because you do come off as a good person. You do come off as a bright person. They just really be jealous, really. The ones who know they don't like you but just can't get away from you, they mental, like that's something mental going on with them for real. And I had to learn that too.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this is a world that people do a lot of interacting, but a lot of people don't have character.
Right.
Or what I always call it is people have character flaws, and I'm always looking for people that when I do meet someone, where does that character flaw lie at? Are they a liar?
Right.
Because that's a big one.
Yeah.
They're either a liar, thief is the worst. Y'all know thief is the worst. Or are they a backstabber? Because those are the two main ones. Either they're a liar or they're going to backstab you at some point. And sometimes you gotta set them up to find out those things. Because once you start being a friend to them, open your door to them into your home. Now they're going to leave you vulnerable because now you talking to them on the phone, having personal conversations about about your life, about even your thought process or
Right.
or any ideas.
That's
You
a
know
big
what I'm
one
saying?
too. It's the
Yeah.
ideas. If you're talking to the wrong
Yeah.
person.
Right. People get close to you so they can get information out you.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen that myself by taking note of how people respond to certain conversations. If they're more intrigued about those conversations when you stress, when you down, when you need advice, when you going through stuff, they got a lot to say, right? But when you telling them the good moments, when you got a raise, you got a promotion, you got this new opportunity, you done found somebody new to talk to date, they quiet, they silent, they ain't got nothing to say. That's how you know when stuff like that y'all real.
Yep.
They really be bothered.
And it got a lot to do with the type of person you are. If you feel like you have to be social, and a lot of friends do come with that because the more social you are, the more people you're gonna know. I know somebody like me. I'm not gonna say I'm antisocial, but I'm on the lines of I can stay in the house all day and be cool. I can go eat by myself. I can do stuff by myself. So I'm less inclined to want to meet new people. You know what I'm saying? Just based off how I am. And there's a lot of people that's out there like that. I know a lot of people, but they're associates. Like J Rock was saying, I don't. As far as friends, I got like two that I can really count. You know what I'm saying, on my hands. And family, you know what I'm saying. I talk to my family. You know what I'm saying. Alex, my cousin, so we cool, but it's like I'm still a little standoffish by nature, but not purposely.
Yeah, so that kind of want to bring it out because dealing in this world, there are a lot of people that's all trying to do social things and entrepreneurial things out here, and not being able to judge a book by its cover sometimes, or judge a person by their character and the way they treat you and how they act around you and the type of conversations they have with you or things they react to when others come around. That's going to determine if you find somebody that's a good friend, because I'm a social person too, and on top of that too, so I know I do go out and about. I am active when I'm out. You know what I mean? I would be considered the life of the party a little bit. When I'm out. So I understand the dynamic of it, but at the same time, I don't been. People do like to attach to you when you're a person that can socially interact with everybody out in the general.
Oh yeah, constantly like an eye on me, waiting for me to make a move on you. I'm trying to catch my future.